Hi friends, Orsi here with another update. 2024 October. Hurricanes in the USA, severe weather and flooding in Europe, heated political debates on both sides of the pond. What a time to be alive. I don't know about you, but oftentimes when it becomes obvious that the world is under the curse and is waiting for the appearance of Jesus as King, I can become overwhelmed by the darkness of this lost world, overwhelmed by the news, overwhelmed by all the voices that are shouting that this is the end of the world as we know it, and tomorrow we're doomed. And that's still nothing compared to being overwhelmed by the loss of one's livelihood or house because of a natural disaster. I know several of you are living in the areas affected by Hurricane Milton and Helene, and have been praying for you, and I was so relieved to see that you are all well. Praise God, the Danube River flooding situation did not take any lives in Hungary, mainly due to the crazy precautions taken by the authorities and all the volunteers helping out. Unfortunately, in other European countries, this was not the case, so people died because of the flood. But in times like these, I have to remind myself of the attitude of Martin Luther, who said, even if I knew that tomorrow the world would go to pieces, I would still plant my apple tree. So this entire month, as I was going about my daily work and routine and cooking or doing this or that, I constantly had to stop myself in my tracks of overthinking and being overwhelmed by everything that you hear through the news. And instead of the storm, look at Jesus. And instead of being just immobilized by fear, doing the next thing and being faithful in using every opportunity that I receive from Jesus. So as a reminder, a visual reminder for myself, I actually had to put this little plaque that I received from the lovely Miss Baker, and we miss you around the place, Cassidy. It says Carpe Diem, and I know many of you are familiar with this saying, but for me, it doesn't talk about just living as if there's no tomorrow, but it talks about seizing the day, taking the opportunities that I am given on that day, and then going step by step. So I put this at the entrance on that little table right by the entrance. So this is the first thing I see when I come home, and it helps me stay focused and centered. So we planted some apple trees this past month, and I wanted to highlight 5 and bring 5 to you just to rejoice with us over all these exciting opportunities, and also to ask you to pray for these initiatives. So apple tree number 1, the F133 Center, which is the F stands for Focus, which is one of the churches serving out of KMK. They started a worship center, and they have a very talented group of musicians and worship pastor. And they wrote a worship album full of beautiful new worship songs, and they gave a concert to launch this worship initiative of theirs. And the goal for their F133 Center is to equip, I want to make sure that I read it as they said, we're training worship leaders in the spiritual and technical aspects of leading worship. So this is why they started this center, and it is operating out of the KMK. A very cute thing I want to mention about this concert, we took our boys and we went as guests. We didn't have anything to do really, but then Tommy got sucked in and he was manning the smoke machine. And pretty soon, both of my boys were sitting on his lap and being excited about the fact that they got to press the button and make smoke. And it was really cool. So it's just really sweet watching my boys enjoy the concert. Okay, so apple tree number 2, Saturday 5 partnership. Saturday 5 is a discipleship program that started in the Baptist church, and it was operating out of one of the biggest Baptist churches in Budapest. And when I say biggest, I'm talking about hundreds of people, not thousands of people. But they outgrew their former venue and were looking for a new place. And we were so happy to be able to give them a slot every week for doing their discipleship program. Of course, it's not on Saturdays anymore, but on Wednesdays, but they kept the name Saturday 5. They have 2 groups, one for the beginner new Christians, and then the other one is for older, more mature Christians, and they're helping them teach them how to disciple others. So it's a really cool and neat initiative. Okay, third apple tree is a joint event with the biggest Christian publisher in Hungary called Harmat. But it has a little bit of a backstory. I was thinking about doing a series on transhumanism and how the crazy technological innovations affect us as humans, and what do we as Christians think about this. And I thought, man, this is such a topic that maybe it's only interesting to me and not many would find it interesting. But as I was praying about it and pondering, I actually got an email from an author who wrote a book on artificial intelligence, and he was looking for a venue for his book signing event. And he is actually one of the people that I wanted to have as a guest as a part of this series on transhumanism. So it was just a really neat affirmation from God that we are on the right path with this event. So here's the book. It's called Artificial Intelligence and Christian Faith. So this event took place on a Friday evening in the lobby, which holds about 70 people comfortably, and I was so happy that many people chose this event as their Friday night program, and we could have a full house. And it was such an encouragement for this young author, but also for this publisher, because the director of this publisher said that ever since the COVID pandemic, they just had a really hard time organizing events like this because people are harder to mobilize. So they were really happy to be able to have such a successful event. And we were able to record the whole conversation and put it on our website and Harmat's website for people to see and be edified even after the event. And then number 4 is a really unique event. A week later, 1 week after this event on the artificial intelligence topic, we had a special guest, a NASA scientist called Les Johnson. This event was a cooperation with the Budapest City team. And he's a NASA scientist and visited several universities in Budapest and talked about his work and his inventions and also the relationship between faith and science, which was such a great topic. A little bit of a backstory. I'm old enough where I grew up in communism, during communism. And I have a sister who's 8 years older than I am, straight A student, 4 degrees, very smart. But even then, she, as a student, was, as a child, he was publicly humiliated in front of her entire class for being a believer. And events like this and lectures like the one Les Johnson held was just such a good reminder that you can be a scientist as a Christian, and you don't need to check your brains at the door if you want to step inside your lab. So this was a great event, a huge turnout. Once again, young people, old people, every generation was well represented. And one little sweet aspect of it that I was able to make another connection to a journalist who was there from the Reformed Church. And that's an area of the Hungarian church scene that we have yet to make connections with. So I was just really excited about the fact that she came, and we will sit down this coming month and just compare visions, and I will explain to her what KMK is about, and hopefully we'll build some new relationships there with the Reformed Church as well. And then the last one, the last apple tree has been in the making, or we've been planting it for a while now. This is actually not an event, but a family. One of the partners, non-Christian partners of the KMK is a man who is organizing children's events every other week almost. We have some kind of a children's theater or a children's concert at the KMK. And this man, and we basically provide the building, and Tommy does sound sometimes for this event. And sometimes I bring my kids because the theater is around a story that they would be interested in. And sometimes I just go, even if I don't have to do really anything. I just serve coffee and smile and talk. But with these small talks over the last year, we were able to develop a friendship with this family, because this man brings his wife and daughter. Daughter is the same age as my Noel, so 9 years old. And we were able to become friends from just business partners, and they invited us over to their house over the summer, so we had a little bit more time to just share our hearts and share our faith with them. And we spent a day there, and man, in the one day we spent there, we had just fantastic conversations. You know, sometimes when you go through something really difficult in life and you don't know why God decided to do something the way he did, like in Tommy's and my case, I don't know if many of you know that we lost one child. We would have a 4-year-old, but we didn't. We lost him midterm. And this experience at the time was really painful, but it was this specific experience that I could use to comfort this lady and to help her heal from past wounds and past experiences. So it was just a blessed time that we could spend talking and praying and sharing faith. So we would like to invite them now over to our house and continue this conversation. So if you think about them, their name is András, Adri, and the little girl's called Luca. Lovely family. Just please pray with me that they would find healing in Jesus Christ and ultimately find salvation and hope in him. Thank you for listening to these brief stories and highlights. I think I will wrap it up now, but I have a couple more interesting things to share for next time. So see you next time. Bye-bye.